Hello everyone, welcome to the Concern podcast where we unpack political, socio-economic and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, the acting chairperson of the South Sudan People Liberation Army or movement in opposition, the SPLM-IO, that is Nathaniel Oyet, arrived in the United States of America where he was received by a section of South Sudanese in the diaspora and members aligned to the SPLM-IO in the United States chapter. And Oyet arrived on Friday, I think in Washington, D.C., and he was received by a section of leaders of the SPLM-IO attached to the United States chapter. And here are some of the pictures taken on his arrival in Washington, D.C. You can see them right here. Yeah, so that is what has happened on Friday. And in this video, I want to try to explain to you why the acting chairperson of the SPLM-IO, Nathaniel Oyet, is in the United States of America and what he's likely to do there and why it is very, very important for the SPLM-IO. Now, we all know that Nathaniel Oyet was dismissed from his position as a member of parliament and first deputy speaker, I think last year. And the claims were because the leadership of the parliament, they claimed that Nathaniel Oyet has been, since the arrest of Machar, he fled the country and has been using the stamp of the parliament and of his position to actually seal on other documents that are inappropriate. And for those reasons, among others, President Salva Kiir removed him from the parliament and he was replaced as a representative for Eastern Equatorial State and replaced by another guy. So on that, he has been in exile in a known location for quite long. And just on Friday, he traveled to the United States of America. And in this video, as I said, I'm going to tell you why Oyet is in the United States of America and what he's likely to do there and why it is very, very important. So on the reasons for his visit to the United States, we have seen through different sources that while in the United States of America, Nathaniel Oyet will be expected to engage with some of the United States policymakers, especially members of the Congress. And he'll be speaking muchly about the unlawful detention, that is, I would say, unlawful detention, according to them, of the first Vice President, Dr. Machar, and try to convince the U.S. leadership as to why Machar deserves not to be in detention, and also ask if there are ways they can coordinate to actually lead to his release from detention. But also some of the things that Nathaniel Oyet is likely to discuss with the policymakers in the United States of America, issues to do with the stall, the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement, and also the environment for opposition politics in the country, and this detention of opposition politicians in the country, which is very, very rampant, and also issues to do with, I think, the corruption and all this. These are some of the things that Nathaniel Oyet is likely to discuss with the leadership of the United States of America, especially the Congress and the U.S. policymakers. But it's also expected that Nathaniel Oyet will be traveling in different states and cities in the United States, conversing with the South Sudanese in diaspora and members of the SPLM-IO who are in the diaspora. We all believe and know very well that Machar has a very huge following, not only in South Sudan but also in the diaspora. He has very huge, there are many members who are aligned to the SPLM-IO who lives in the diaspora, not only in the United States, but in the UK, in Canada, Australia, and all these parts. So while in the United States, Nathaniel Oyet will be interacting with some of the South Sudanese there. And the reason why Oyet visited the United States is because the United States has been a very, very important partner in throughout the history of South Sudan. When we look at the struggle for independence, the United States has been at the forefront of supporting South Sudan independence in 2011. The United States has been very important partner that has actually helped the country broker a peace deal that in 2018 that has led to some peace in the country. And the United States has been supporting South Sudan in different ways through humanitarian and so many other ways. This is a very, very important and influential partner. And we all know that its influence is not only to South Sudan but the entire globe. So visiting the US, I think it's a very, very important one. And also, when you visit the United States of America and you converse with members of the diaspora of the same community, it's very important because some of the successful struggles that comes in countries have been through engagement with members of the diaspora of the same community. So members of diaspora of any country, they are very, very focal and at the very forefront in success to struggles. They have been a very, very important at a very important point of leading to struggles of countries. So I think engaging members of South Sudan in the diaspora, it's one of the things that is expected to do. And regarding the meeting with the United States leadership, I mean, it's obvious that Nathaniel Oyet will not get the chance to meet with Donald Trump, but he will meet very important leaders, especially in the Congress, and he's likely to meet the chairperson of the U.S. Senate Committee on U.S. Foreign Relations. So many opposition leaders, just as I've said, who visit the United States of America will always make sure they meet the chairperson of the Senate Committee on U.S. Foreign Relations, because that is a very important position in the U.S. Senate, because they make reviews on how countries are abiding with U.S. foreign interest and how these countries can also buy some of the beliefs and ideals that United States of America believes in so much. And this is a very important position that I feel that Nathaniel Oyet is likely to meet that pass. It's likely to meet there and try to tell people about the situation back in South Sudan. Remember, when the opposition leader in Kenya visited the United States of America, he met that specific chairperson of that committee, and it was during that time that he had to do issues to do with the Kenya, because that time it was claimed that Kenya was meeting some of the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces leaders, and that person was declared as a terrorist by the United States of America. So it was on that basis, when it was reported to the U.S. Senate chair of U.S. Foreign Relations, they had to make sure that they drafted a statement, and they've actually started reviewing and try to find out if that is true. And if that is true, they said they want to remove Kenya out from the position they were assigned to as a non-NATO ally, which is a position that was given to Kenya when Joe Biden was the president. So these are some of the important leadership positions that Oyet is likely to meet there. And also, Oyet visiting the United States of America, it's very important because it's going to actually make people have the beliefs and hopes that the SPLM-IO is still existing even when Machar is still in detention. So many people had actually lost hope that without Machar being at the forefront of this, so the SPLM-IO is likely going to go down. But with the emergency of Oyet and him traveling to the United States, engaging members of South Sudan diaspora and the US leaders, I mean, it gives people the hope that the SPLM-IO still exists, and it tried to give them that legitimacy when they get engaged with international international friends like the United States of America, which I believe is also very, very important. It doesn't only expose Nathaniel Oyet as a very important figure there, but it gives people hope, especially those who had lost one when Machar is detained. So these are some of the important things that are likely to happen. And we all know that the major role of opposition is to critique the government and everything that they do in the country, especially when they're not doing well. I mean, opposition is not necessarily to critique government even when things are okay, but their major aim is to figure out those things that are not doing well in the country and bring them to the light. So expect all those things that have been happening in the country to be said out. I mean, usually I don't really buy the idea of countries going out to the United States or all these Western countries to cry out about things that are happening in their own countries. But if there's no option, of course, we have to go with that. I mean, I don't really want South Sudan to be going out to the United States and started crying, reporting to people how they're being treated back home. I mean, a country should have sorted out all their problems. They don't need to go abroad. They don't need to go to foreign countries. But this is how the world is designed. So at the end of the day, the US is at the top. So there's nothing we can do about that. So these are some of the things that I feel Nathaniel Oyet is likely to do while on his visit to the United States of America. It's likely to give the to give the SPLAIO members hope that the movement still exists. He is to engage members of the South Sudan diaspora, and also he is to meet some of the leadership of the U.S. Congress, especially those who hold very important positions in the Senate committees. And the major reason, according to some sources, is mainly to discuss about issues to do with my child detention, which they call it as unlawful, not only my child, but also some of the members of opposition. So these are some of the things that I believe and hope Nathaniel Oyet, the acting chairperson of the SPLAIO, is likely to do while on his visit to the United States of America. Thank you guys. Write down in the comment section. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast. Before we close today's episode, here's a quick message from our sponsor, Wanit.co. If you've been planning to build a website but the cost has been holding you back, Wanit.co makes it affordable and stress-free this time around. Whether you are an individual, a non-profit organization, or a business, Wanit.co designs professional websites starting from as cheap as $250. Individuals can actually launch with a starter website of up to 7 pages and a free email, or choose an advanced option with unlimited pages, a professional portfolio, and branding support. For non-profit organizations, they can select flexible packages from basic websites to premium solutions with e-commerce features and ongoing support. And for business companies, Wanit.co delivers company-ready website with hosting, staff training, and multilingual options and online stores. And the best part of it is actually that you can build your dream website within your budget. Wanit.co is an affordable, accessible, and professional partner. And to get started, you can actually visit Wanit.co or email them at info@wanit.co, or you can get in touch with them through their WhatsApp number at +12265043322. Wanit.co, proudly affiliated with Jobs to Apply. And if you're wondering of what I'm talking about, here are some samples of website created by Wanit.co. You can see them right here.